2, 3. Oh, they tell me of a land far beyond the skies. Oh, they tell me of a home far away. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of uncloudy sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, they tell me of a home where my friends have gone. Oh, they tell me that a land far away, where the tree of life in eternal bloom shed its fragrance through that uncloudy day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day.
Alright, everyone out there in Banjo Land, Mike Heading here. I've got another backup lesson for you today. I had a request if I could do a detailed backup lesson for the classic gospel song, Uncloudy Day. One of my favorite old gospel songs. I always think of Ralph Stanley when I hear this song, Stanley Brothers, but this is a great gospel song done by a lot of people. I had Clint come back in the studio and record the guitar and the vocals, so we got 2 times through the verse and 2 times through the chorus. So I'm going to break down the backup exactly note for note as I played it at the beginning, and I'll show you kind of, again, all the thumb, index, middle, kind of breaking it down, but we're also going to get into the thought process of why did I choose this roll over this one? Why did I choose this lick over that one? Which I think is something that really trips up people when they're first learning backup, okay? Backup is something that's really tricky to play because there's no rule, so there's not always going to be someone telling you what to do, and that's where it takes a little bit of time to build up your confidence, and that's why these detailed backup lessons can be super helpful. So I'd strongly recommend checking out this lesson. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeadingMusic.com, and grab the full lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Uncloudy Day, backup in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down the first verse backup to Uncloudy Day. So I'll start by playing the first 9 measures, kind of like halfway through the verse, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Do that a couple times, a little faster. One time really slow. Okay, so for this first verse, we're going to stick with some really classic down the neck backup. We're basically just going to try and stay away from the melody. So remember, the melody is something kind of like that in its most basic form, right? So we're just going to kind of stay away from that. We're going to do a classic 2-5 slide to start and just kind of set the tempo, set that drive. I'm going to use a forward roll, so we're going to do a 2-5 slide. There's no pickup, obviously. We're just starting with the backup. So we're going to do 4-3-1 and then 5-3-1. Those are my strings. So give that first slide some power. And then we're going to do 2 more notes, 5th string and then 3rd string. And then we're going to go up to the 1st string in measure 2, and then do a 2-3 hammer on the 2nd string. Have your thumb come down, do 2nd string, 1st string, and then 5-2-1-5. Those are my strings. So what are we doing there? We're basically just setting the tempo with a classic slide, and then we're trying to get up above the melody, because the melody goes. melody kind of goes to the third string, 4th fret. So that we're kind of trying to stay away from that line. So that's the "They tell me of a land far beyond the sky" part. So that's kind of like a basic solo, right? When you're playing backup, you want to think of, how do I stay away from that? So we are kind of playing that same note technically for the first measure. And then again, we're going to go above the melody. So we're going to go all the way up to the 1st string, very common. So remember, you can think of, if you're, basically you have your different slides on each string, right? So what I like to do is, if the melody is on one of those slides, you can go to either the one below it or the one above it. In this case, we're going above it. So that's the melody. We're going up here. So we're just kind of going one chord tone above the melody, and that's really good practice. So we have, and then we're going to slide right into our C chord, and again, stay above the melody. So we're going to kind of highlight these upper notes of the C chord in pitch. So I'm going to pinch strings 2 and 1, and then just do a 5-2-1 roll TIM twice. Because again, that's going to stay above the melody. The melody is, melody kind of goes down, so again, we're staying above it. That's really what I want you to think about for this backup lesson, is staying away from the melody. And let's say you don't know the melody 100%, that's okay. You can kind of think in very general terms. Does the melody go up? Does the melody go down? You don't always, I mean, it's good to know the notes that the melody is playing, but let's say if you don't know, again, just use kind of rough estimates. Does the melody go up? Does the melody go down? Even if you don't know exactly what notes it is, you know, think in your general terms. So that's what I would encourage you to think about for this lesson. So let's play those first couple measures. So we have, the other thing I might do there is kind of pinch on that C and accent that a little bit. Something like that. And then measure 4, a little lick. You're going to basically quick slide your first finger forward to the 2nd fret. Your thumb of your right hand is going to come down and do thumb middle, 2nd string, 1st string. So that's thumb middle there. And then do 5-3-1 with a forward roll TIM, and you're going to go down and do a pull off on the 3rd string. And then another 5-3-1 roll. I think this lick is harder than it looks scarier than it really is. Let's do just the right hand one. So it's, looping measure 4 and pretending they're all zeros. Let's add the left hand back. You got to make sure you're doing that pull off with your index finger of your right hand. The other thing you can do is, if that pull off's giving you trouble, just play the 2nd fret. It'll sound very similar. That's a classic bluegrass lick. If you ever heard like the song Shenandoah Valley Breakdown, or that's a common lick. So that's what we're doing there. We're just trying to stay away from that melody. So we go up on our C, and then quick slide forward. And then for measure 5, we have our classic Scruggs fill lick. You've probably seen this one before. We're going to use this a bunch. Probably the most used lick in bluegrass banjo. So you hit your thumb on the 3rd string as a quarter note, then your thumb comes up to the 5th string and do 5-3-1 with a hammer on. Again, you have to do that hammer on with the index finger of your right hand, really important. Back to the open 3rd string, down to the 2nd fret, 4th string, open 1st string. That's a good one to just loop. You can also do it with a slide. Slides and hammer-ons are pretty much interchangeable. You're going to want to be able to play that one in your sleep. You can't get too much practice using that lick. So again, we go. That'd be like 4 and 5 together. And then measure 6, we hit the open 3rd string. And then outside strings. So 1, 2, and give beat 1 a full quarter note. and then 4th fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, 4th string. We're just going to walk down to an open D. So we're basically walking from a G down to a D. So the notes we want to hear is, and we just put a little roll in between it to fill it up. So we're just, again, we're walking down, and remember our melody goes up high there. So they tell me of a land far, the melody goes up. So the melody's way up here. So again, we're walking down. So that's what we're doing there. So, and then hit that open 4th string. I like to use that open D. Sounds really nice. And then go into a 2-finger D chord, 3rd finger and 1st finger, 4th fret and 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And you're just going to do like a forward roll. So I'm doing 4, 3, 1 twice, TIM. That's a good roll to practice. You have. So we are technically playing that 1st string, which is the melody, but we're kind of embedding it into a roll so you don't really hear it. I would kind of accent your thumb there as well. So you have. And then a forward reverse roll in the same position. So just keep your left hand down. And then we're back to open 3rd string. And then a 2-5 slide. And then 5th string. And then pinch, strings 3 and 1. That's just a variation on measure 1. So I just did a different way to play into that slide. I like that one because it's really rhythmic. Okay, so let's play those first 9 measures. That's halfway through the verse part. A little faster. Faster. A Okay, and then measure 10. So basically measure 9 is like measure 1, and then we're into measure 10. So same 2-3 hammer-on, except we're going to start it with the hammer-on. So we go, use this pinch. Now move your hand up to the 2nd string, your thumb of your right hand comes down, do thumb middle, and then 5, 2, 1 with your 2nd finger down. And then 5, 2, 1 with your 2nd finger down. And then 5, 2, 1 twice with your 2nd finger down. So we have. I love those kind of classic, I call them like generic licks, you know, stuff like this. Or, you know, kind of those ones where you can play it like that in the background, and even if the melody is on that note, it's not really going to get in the way. You're not playing lots of like different pitch changes. You're just I call it kind of a generic sounding roll where you're just kind of playing this rhythmic lick in the background where you really just want to hear those subdivisions of the rhythm. So that's really all we're doing there. And then right here on the C, we're going to do a lick this time. We're going to slide down, 1st finger, 2nd fret, 1st string, or 2nd string, 1st fret rather, 2nd string, 1st fret into your C. Play that note, put your C down, pinch the outside strings, open 1st string, and then back to the 1st fret, 2nd string. Just like a little pinch lick on a C. So you have. And then quick slide your hand back up, do that generic roll we just did in measure 10. That's a perfect example of we're kind of playing that lick, doing a little pinch on a C, and then sliding right back into that lick. Now 2-3 hammer on the 3rd string. That's just another lick. We have. that's a 4 reverse roll there. And then our Scruggs lick. So the only difference there from measure 5 is we didn't do a pause at the beginning. We didn't go. We did eighth notes. It's the exact same lick, except we just added one more middle finger and did a slide. You could also play measure 5 either way. So that's a great lick to lead down to a D. You hear that? Because we're kind of going G, E, D. We're kind of walking down, and we're embedding that walk into a lick, which is cool. And that's our D, just a 1 measure D, and then we're going to play a lick here. And then our Scruggs lick again. So that's a classic Scruggs Crow style D lick. You hit the open 4 string, go into your 3-finger D chord, so you use this open 4 string to give you time to get your hand down, and then do a backwards roll. So middle index with your D down, and then put your 3rd finger on the 4th fret 3rd string and play thumb index on the same string. And then move your 3rd finger down to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and then back to your lick. That's a great lick. You have let's do just the right hand. And then one more fill lick, measure 17, which is basically like measure 5 without the hammer on. We just played them all open. Now they're just classic Scruggs fill lick. So any of these fill licks too, you could just save in your vocabulary for your future, you know, for a different song where you can play backup. All right, let's listen to me and Clint play that verse 1 backup a few times.
1, 2, 3. Oh, they tell me I'm a land far beyond the skies. Oh, they tell me I'm a home far away. Oh, they tell me I'm a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me I'm an uncloudy day. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they tell me I'm a land far beyond the skies. Oh, they tell me I'm a home far away. Oh, they tell me I'm a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me I'm an uncloudy